You know, if you're like me, you've spent a lifetime listening to advice about how to take care of your heart. Eat this, don't eat that, take this pill, try that exercise. It can get so overwhelming, can't it? It feels like the rules are always changing. But today, I want to talk to you about something different. I want to talk about a simple, powerful, and often completely free vitamin that is absolutely essential for a healthy heart. It's not a pill you have to remember to take with breakfast. It's not a complicated recipe. In fact, you already have unlimited access to it. The number one vitamin for your heart isn't something you find in a bottle. It's something you find in your life. It's vitamin connection. That's right, connection. The profound, life-giving connection we have with other people. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, connection? That's not a real vitamin. What does chatting with a friend have to do with my blood pressure or my cholesterol? And I understand that skepticism completely. For the longest time, we were told that heart health was all about the physical stuff, the diet, the exercise, the medications. And those things are incredibly important, please don't get me wrong. But modern science is now catching up to what our grandparents probably knew instinctively: a lonely heart is often a sick heart. Our emotional well-being is directly wired to our physical well-being in ways we are only just beginning to fully understand. Think about it for a moment. Can you remember a time you felt truly lonely? Maybe it was after a spouse passed away, or when the kids moved across the country, or when you had to stop driving and felt a little bit stuck at home. Do you remember how that felt in your body? It wasn't just in your mind, was it? That feeling often comes with a heavy weight on your chest, a dull ache, a sense of emptiness that feels physical. Conversely, think of a time you shared a deep, belly laugh with an old friend, or felt a warm hug from a grandchild, or had a long, meandering conversation on the porch with a neighbor. Remember how light you felt afterward? How your spirits were lifted? That feeling, my friends, is not just emotional. It's creating a real, measurable, biochemical reaction inside your body that is healing your heart in real time. The science behind this is nothing short of amazing. When we experience loneliness and isolation, our bodies shift into a state of stress. It's like our internal alarm system gets stuck in the on position. Our bodies release stress hormones like cortisol. Now, a little cortisol now and then is normal, but when it's constantly flooding your system, it causes inflammation. And inflammation, we now know, is a major driver of heart disease. It damages the lining of our arteries, it makes our blood more likely to clot, and it pushes our blood pressure up. It's like slowly pouring acid on the most delicate parts of our cardiovascular system. Loneliness can be as damaging to our hearts as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let me say that again. Feeling chronically lonely can be as harmful as smoking half a pack of cigarettes every single day. It's a staggering thought. On the flip side, when we feel socially connected, safe, and loved, our bodies do something beautiful. They release a cascade of healing hormones. One of the most powerful is oxytocin, often called the cuddle hormone or the bonding hormone. Oxytocin is a powerhouse. It actually counteracts the effects of cortisol. It lowers blood pressure, it reduces inflammation, and it promotes a sense of calm and well-being. It's like nature's own anti-inflammatory and anti-anxiety medication, all rolled into one, and your body produces it for free every time you have a positive, connecting interaction with someone. Every warm handshake, every shared memory, every knowing look across the room tells your body, you are safe. You are not alone. And your heart responds directly to that message. So, while we will absolutely talk about the importance of physical activity and eating our leafy greens, I wanted to start here, at the very core of the matter. Because without this foundational vitamin connection, all the other efforts we make can feel so much harder. When we're lonely, we have less motivation to cook a healthy meal for one. We have less energy to go for that walk. We might feel more inclined to just sit in front of the television. Connection gives us the why. It gives us a reason to get up and get going. It fuels our resilience. So, now that we understand why connection is so vitally important for our hearts, let's gently move on to the practical part. Let's talk about how we can actively find and cultivate more of this essential vitamin in our daily lives, especially if we sometimes feel like opportunities for connection are harder to come by than they used to be. Welcome back, everyone. I'm so glad you're here with me as we explore this idea further. Now, understanding that connection is powerful medicine is one thing, but putting it into practice is another, especially when life has a way of making connection feel difficult. Maybe your social circle has gotten smaller over the years. Maybe you've moved to a new area to be closer to family but left your old friends behind. Maybe mobility issues or not driving anymore makes getting out a challenge. Or maybe you're just out of practice. It happens. The good news is that cultivating connection isn't about throwing a big party or being the life of the party. It's about small, consistent, and deeply meaningful interactions. It's about quality, not quantity. So, let's talk about some simple, practical ways we can all get our daily dose. Let's start right where we are, at home. Your home can be a wonderful hub for connection, even if it's just you there most of the time. One of the most powerful tools we have today is technology. Now, I know for some of us, technology can feel frustrating. The screens are too small, the buttons are too confusing. But when we learn to use it for connection, it becomes a lifeline, not a frustration. Think of it as a window to the world. Something as simple as a weekly video call with a child, a grandchild, or a sibling can be a tremendous boost for your heart. You don't have to talk about anything profound. Just seeing their face, hearing their laugh, asking what they had for dinner, that's the medicine. That's the vitamin C right there. If you're not comfortable with the video part, a regular phone call is just as wonderful. The sound of a loved one's voice can lower your blood pressure and calm your nervous system. Set a standing appointment. Every Sunday evening, perhaps. Make it a ritual. That predictability gives you something to look forward to, and that anticipation itself is a form of joy. But connection isn't just about family far away. It's about the people in your immediate orbit. Your neighbors. How long has it been since you had a real conversation with the person next door? In a world that's so busy, we often forget about the community right outside our front door. Something as simple as sitting on your front porch or on a bench in front of your building instead of staying inside can open up opportunities. A wave hello leads to a how are you, which can lead to a 5-minute chat about the weather, which can lead to an invitation for a cup of coffee. You don't have to become best friends. Even a brief, friendly exchange with your mail carrier or the cashier at the grocery store counts. It all adds up. It all tells your heart, I am part of a community. I am seen. Now, let's talk about getting out into the community intentionally. This is where we can find new sources of connection that are tailored to our interests. One of the very best places to find like-minded people is at your local senior center. Now, I know some people have a certain idea about senior centers, but let me tell you, they have changed. They are vibrant places full of activities and life. They offer exercise classes tailored for our age group, water aerobics, chair yoga, light strength training. And the beautiful part is, you're not just going for the exercise. You're going for the camaraderie. You're going to be in a room with other people who are also working on their health, and that shared purpose creates an instant bond. You can complain about sore muscles together, you can encourage each other, and you can go out for a cup of tea afterward. That's the real goal. The exercise is just the excuse. Another fantastic option is the public library. Libraries are quiet hubs of community activity. They host book clubs, which are perfect because they give you a structured reason to get together and talk about something other than your aches and pains. You get to dive into a story together, share your perspectives, and see the world through different eyes. I want to tell you about my friend, Eleanor. Eleanor lost her husband, Frank, about 2 years ago. They had been married for 53 years. After he passed, the silence in her house was deafening. Her children lived out of state, and while they called often, the days were long and lonely. Her doctor was concerned because her blood pressure was creeping up, and she'd lost her spark. She was just going through the motions. One day, her daughter saw a flyer for a memoir writing workshop at the local library and practically signed Eleanor up for it herself. Eleanor was reluctant. She wasn't a writer. But she went, mostly to quiet her daughter's worrying. That first meeting, she sat in the back and barely spoke. But she listened. She heard other people her age, telling their stories, funny stories about their childhood, poignant stories about their first loves, heartfelt stories about loss and resilience. The next week, she went back. And she shared a small story about how she and Frank met. The group laughed in all the right places. They asked questions. They listened. Eleanor found herself looking forward to Tuesdays. The group became her Tuesday family. They started going for tea after the workshop. They celebrated birthdays together. And you know what happened? At her next doctor's appointment, her blood pressure had improved significantly. Her doctor asked if she'd started a new medication. She smiled and said, "No, I started a new chapter." She found her vitamin C in the quiet stacks of the library, and it gave her a reason to not only remember her life but to live it again. If you're not a big reader, many libraries have history clubs, movie discussion groups, or even classes on everything from genealogy to using an iPad. The learning is fun, but the connection is the prize. For those who find purpose in giving back, volunteering is a profound way to connect. The act of helping others does something magical to our own sense of well-being. It gets us out of our own heads and our own worries. It makes us feel needed and valued. You could volunteer at a local soup kitchen, read to children at the library, or even offer to be a friendly caller for a telephone reassurance program for other seniors who are homebound. When you give connection, you receive it tenfold. You realize that your presence, your time, your experience matters deeply to someone else. That is a powerful heart medicine. Let's not forget about rekindling old connections. Is there an old friend from your working days or from the neighborhood you grew up in that you've lost touch with? There has never been an easier time to find them. A simple search on Facebook or a phone call to a mutual acquaintance can reopen a door to a friendship that has decades of history. Those friendships are gold. They are built on a foundation of shared memories and understood history. You don't have to explain your whole life story, they were there for it. I think of a gentleman I met named Arthur. Arthur is 78. He had a best friend, Sam, all through high school and their young adulthood. Life happened, careers, moves across the country, families. They lost touch for over 40 years. Arthur's wife passed away a few years ago, and in going through old photo albums, he kept seeing Sam's face. He missed that easy camaraderie. On a whim, his grandson helped him search for Sam on the internet. They found him living in a retirement community in Arizona. Arthur was nervous, but he dialed the number. When Sam answered, there was a moment of silence, and then Sam said, "Artie, is that really you?" And just like that, 40 years melted away. They now have a standing video call every Friday afternoon. They call it their happy hour. They talk about everything, their grandchildren, their health, their memories. Arthur says those calls are the highlight of his week. That reconnection didn't just bring back a friend, it brought back a piece of himself he thought was lost forever. Reconnecting with someone like that can feel like coming home. Now, I want to address a very important and sometimes painful topic, loss. Many of us have lost spouses, partners, and dear friends. That loss creates a void that cannot and should not be simply filled. It's important to grieve. But it's also important to know that your capacity for connection remains. Sometimes, the best people to connect with are those who understand that loss. Grief support groups, whether in person or online, can be incredibly healing. Sharing your story with people who truly get it can lessen that heavy weight of isolation. It's not about moving on, it's about moving forward together, supporting each other through the hard days. Finally, I want to remind you about the connection you have with yourself. This might sound silly, but it's vital. How you talk to yourself matters. If your internal dialogue is all criticism and worry, that is a form of isolation. Practicing self-compassion, talking to yourself like you would talk to a dear friend, is a foundational form of connection. Spend time doing things you genuinely enjoy, even if you do them alone. Listen to music you love. Work in your garden. Paint. Cook a nice meal for yourself. Set the table nicely. These acts of self-love send a message to your heart that you are worth caring for. And when you feel that from within, it becomes easier to connect with others from a place of fullness, not emptiness. This is just a start, a menu of possibilities. You don't have to do everything. Just pick one small thing. One phone call. One visit to the senior center to just look at the activity calendar. One afternoon sitting on the porch. That one small step is how you begin to weave more of this essential vitamin into the fabric of your daily life. It's about building a habit of reaching out, little by little. And as we close this part, it naturally leads us to our final thoughts. Because while connection is the cornerstone, it works in beautiful harmony with the other pillars of heart health. So, let's bring it all together and talk about how we can build a holistic, heart-happy life that celebrates connection, movement, and nourishment. Well, here we are, friends. We've journeyed through the incredible importance of vitamin connection and explored so many ways to bring more of it into our lives. But as I promised, connection doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's the beautiful, golden thread that weaves through the entire tapestry of our heart health. It's what gives us the joy and motivation to also take care of our bodies through movement and nourishment. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a vision of how these pieces fit together to create a life that isn't just about avoiding illness, but about thriving, about feeling truly alive and engaged at any age. Think of your heart health like a sturdy, three-legged stool. If one leg is missing or is too short, the whole stool becomes wobbly and unstable. Those three legs are connection, movement, and nourishment. We've spent a lot of time on the first leg, connection, because it's so often the one we forget about. But the other two are just as vital. The beautiful thing is, they all support each other. When you work on one, you naturally strengthen the others. Let's talk about movement for a moment. I'm not talking about training for a marathon. I'm talking about gentle, consistent movement that reminds your body it is alive. A daily walk around the block, even if it's slow, is a victory. It gets your blood flowing, it strengthens your heart muscle, and it does wonders for your mood. And here's where the connection comes in. Instead of walking alone, could you invite a neighbor to join you? You could have a walking buddy. Suddenly, that walk isn't just exercise, it's a social event. You're getting your dose of vitamin C and your dose of movement all at once. Or, you could join that chair yoga class at the senior center. You're moving your body in a gentle way while being surrounded by other people. The movement makes the connection more active, and the connection makes the movement more enjoyable. They are partners. Now, let's consider nourishment. Eating heart-healthy foods, lots of vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins, is fundamental. But eating alone can feel like a chore. How many of us have resorted to a simple sandwich or a bowl of cereal because cooking a full meal for one just feels sad? This is where connection transforms nourishment. What if you started a monthly potluck with a few friends? Everyone brings a simple, healthy dish. You share a meal, you share recipes, you share laughter. That meal is now infused with joy and connection. It's no longer just fuel, it's a celebration. Or, if you have family nearby, make a point to have a shared meal once a week. Getting your grandchildren involved in cooking can be a messy, wonderful way to connect and teach them about healthy eating. When we break bread together, we feed our hearts in more ways than one. The message I want you to take away today is one of hope and empowerment. Taking care of your heart is not a punishment. It's not a long list of deprivations and difficult tasks. It is an act of profound self-love and community love. It's about choosing activities that fill you with joy and purpose. It's about understanding that every time you pick up the phone to call a friend, you are taking your heart medicine. Every time you say yes to an invitation for coffee, you are strengthening your heart. Every time you volunteer your time, you are healing your heart. These are not extra chores on your to-do list, they are the very things that make life worth living. Your journey is unique. What works for your friend might not work for you, and that's perfectly okay. Start with what feels manageable. Maybe your one small step is simply deciding to sit on the bench at the park instead of on your living room sofa. Maybe it's looking up the phone number for your local senior center and just asking them to mail you a calendar. That's a huge win. Celebrate that. This is not a race. It's about adding more moments of joy and connection, one day at a time. I would absolutely love to hear about your journey. Your experiences are valuable and could be the very thing that inspires someone else watching. So, please, share your thoughts in the comments below. What was one thing that resonated with you today? Do you have a favorite way to connect with others? Maybe you have a story about how a friendship improved your life. Your wisdom is needed here. Let's create a community right here in the comments, a place where we can support and learn from each other. And if this video brought you some value, if it made you think or gave you a little spark of inspiration, I would be so grateful if you'd hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. It helps me know that this is meaningful work and helps me continue to create content that serves you. My goal is to build a channel that feels like a friendly conversation among peers, all of us navigating this chapter of life together, with grace, humor, and support. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. Thank you for caring for your magnificent heart. Remember, it's never too late to add more life to your years. It's never too late to reach out, to connect, to move, to thrive. You are worthy of a heart that is full of joy, connection, and health. So, from my heart to yours, I wish you a life filled with vibrant health, deep friendships, and endless reasons to smile. Go well, my friends.